Hey, on the 25th of May 2022, I got a hair transplant in Istanbul, Turkey. As you can see, I'm very happy with the progress. Right now, I'm on month 4. You can see my progress report in this video. If you're thinking about getting a hair transplant in Turkey, Istanbul, don't go anywhere. This video will explain exactly how much I paid for the entire hair transplant. Now this includes the transplant, this includes the aftercare, the flights, transportation, food, accommodation, everything will be covered in this video. Because remember, you only have to be in Turkey for around 4 days. For example, I flew in on Sunday night, I had my surgery on Monday, Tuesday I washed my hair, and then on Wednesday you're cleared to fly. I flew back on Thursday, so 4 nights is all you're gonna have to spend. My costs are based on my own unique experience. Now I'm quite a stingy guy, I'm a tight guy with my money. But don't worry, if you like to be lavish and spend, this video will still cater to you. So the cost of the transplant. I spent $2,685 on the surgery itself and $1,351 on the optional 6-month aftercare package. I will make a separate video that goes into detail about whether or not the aftercare package is a scam and whether or not it's worth it, but this is beyond the scope of this video. Just know if you go to the clinic I went to, you're only gonna have to spend $2,685 for the hair transplant. However, hair transplants in Turkey are rapidly rising. I've seen comments on other people's YouTube channels and my YouTube channel about how much they spent in my clinic, and they spent considerably less than I did, and this was only 6-7 months before I had my surgery. What this means is, due to inflation and obviously the war in Ukraine, etc., they're only going to increase these prices. So the best ROI for me, giving advice to you, is get your hair transplant as soon as possible. Otherwise you're going to have to pay more money because the fees around the entire world, but specifically Turkey, are going up year by year. There are cheaper options. Long Vita in Turkey costs $1,650, but I can only speak about the clinic I went to, which in 2021 was rated by the Awards of Medicine in Europe to be the best hair clinic transplant center in Europe. So flights. I spent $73.50 for a single from London to Istanbul, and $76.21 for the return flight. This was around about 4 days before I flew back to London. I recommend booking via Pegasus Airlines. This is Turkey's equivalent to Ryanair. It's a low-cost budget airline, but I had no problems. I wasn't late. I checked in 100% fine. 100% I rate this airline, and this is the airline that my clinic told me. If you're not covered by Pegasus Airlines, I recommend just using Skyscanner to try and find the best flight possible. Because remember, you only really need like a week, 2 weeks headway before you actually have the hair transplant. So have your consultation, speak with the person, and then they're gonna give you an allocated date, and then you just book flights for that date. So accommodation. I only paid £46.53 for 4 nights, because this was a shared accommodation. I lived with someone else, I lived with the owner. But I did have to pay $40 to $50 in cleaning fees, as I completely stained his mattress after I had the hair transplant. Because the day of the surgery, no matter what, you were gonna bleed a lot during the night. And even during the 2nd day, I was bleeding into the mattress. 3rd, 4th day, I stopped bleeding, but the damage was already done. So be very careful where you sleep. If this is a hotel, then okay, no problem in it. Like, you know, but then again, the hotel might charge you. So just be aware, like have a towel and put it under the blanket, so then the blood's not gonna seep down and stain the mattress, because the blood went through the blanket and deep into the mattress, there was blood stains. I'm gonna go into more detail with my complete guide to sleeping during and after a hair transplant that you can watch there. If you want to spend a little more and live a bit more lavish, I found a 9.1 rated hotel that cost $272 for 4 nights with a double or twin room. But most of the time, Airbnb is going to be your cheapest best bet. For the ultimate convenience, you can book accommodation through your clinic, but I can guarantee this is going to cost you more money than booking it via yourself. If you're finding value in the video, please like, because it helps spread to more people. I'd appreciate it a lot. So transport. Most clinics will offer you a complete transport service. I never paid for transport my entire time during Turkey. Every time I was picked up to and from my clinic was via the clinic's own taxi service, and also when I was picked to and fro from the airport, and they dropped me off the airport when I went back to London. As your transport is already paid for, it doesn't really matter how far your clinic is to your accommodation. My accommodation was roughly, I think, half an hour drive from the clinic, and obviously I had to take that every time I went, but it's not a big deal. You can just sit back, look outside the window, take it into Istanbul. If you do want to explore Istanbul during your hair transplant, then taxis are very cheap because they work on a meter. A taxi starts at 9.8 Turkish liras and they charge 6.3 liras per kilometer. I personally would not recommend traveling after having the hair transplant, because it's very crucial that you keep these implanted grafts in your hair, especially during the first couple of days. All it would take is someone banging into you, or you hitting a pole, a random, piece of whatever, and that will dislodge your hair transplant. So be very careful. Like, don't take any chances. You're spending a lot of money. Don't ruin it just because you want it to be a tourist. You know what I'm saying? Now, in terms of food, I only took out $41 during my entire time in Turkey. I ate at this kebab round about 2-3 minutes from my Airbnb. An average cost of a meal is 20 to 50 liras, which is $1.08 to $2.70. A 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant will be 60 to 120 liras, $3.24 to $8.64. Food is very cheap in Turkey, and the day of your operation, during your break, after they take out the hair from the donor area, you're gonna have a dinner. It's not gonna be too much and a small drink. Now, you have to factor in, the further you are away from Istanbul, the more money you're gonna have to pay for flights. If you're living in the States, I probably recommend going to Mexico, because I've seen many excellent results from Mexico hair clinic in Reddit hair transplant, and they paid something like $600 and they got really good results. So don't necessarily equate price to quality. There's a lot of good clinics in Mexico that you can go to, and stay tuned on this channel, because I'm going to find the best clinics for you and have interviews with ex-patients, and they can explain their processes, what they thought about the hair transplant. To see the review of the clinic I went to, and the clinic that obviously gave me fantastic results, that was rated in 2021 by the European Awards of Medicine as the #1 hair transplant clinic in Europe, please watch my review of my clinic there. I hope this video has given you an idea of how much you're going to pay for a hair transplant in Turkey. Now, I'm the hair transplant hero. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe if this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.